Hi everyone out there, Mike here from Diesel Smart. I'm here to show you today how to do your own injector nozzle upgrades. Now we're going to be using just general tools here today. We're not going to be using diesel specific tools for doing the common rail injectors. We're going to be using tools that you would normally have in a normal workshop. So let me show you what tools we're going to be using here today. We're going to be using a tension wrench, we're going to be using a power bar and a 14mm tube socket. This is actually the specific socket that we use for undoing the injector nozzles. But instead of that, we're going to use a set of Stilsons. This is for cleaning the carbon out of the injector nozzle cap. Just here. Clean out of here. You can see there's an injector here that we've already done. Another one that we've just got deassembled here so you can sort of see what's going on, what it looks like inside. We've got a Torquemaster plus 30 injector cap, injector nozzle here, sorry. These are made by Torquemaster themselves. Plus 30 injectors, beautiful. So what we're going to start by doing here is we're going to grab the standard injector, going to remove the washer, and this solenoid here, you got to be very careful of it. We don't want to damage it, push on it, break it or anything like that. So we're going to place it in the vise. We're going to grab onto this part here, onto these two surfaces, not onto this. Carefully place it in the vise, making sure that it's nice and clear. Tighten it up nice and firm. Now normally we'd use this socket here which goes over the top to undo it, but these are not readily available. So in its case we're going to use the Stilsons just to crack it. I'm going to pull it tight. Now you heard it crack. That's all you need to do. Then we're going to grab the tube socket and undo it. If I was to do that with the tube socket, there's a pretty good chance that it would push the nut inwards and round it off. That's why we use the Stilsons. Okay, so now that's nice and free, we can start undoing that by hand, holding onto the top of the injector nozzle. We don't want it flying apart. Now we carefully lift this upwards and hold this together with our fingers underneath. Now you can see here, this is your injector nozzle. This part here, you do not want that coming apart. So you hold onto that with your fingers and you carefully lift the injector nozzle up. You can see the pin there. Make sure you take your pin with you. Place that out of the way. You get a rag, just nice clean rag. Dry the surface off and let it go, and that'll be fine. Then you get your injector nozzle, your new injector nozzle, the Torquemaster injector nozzle here in this case, and we're just going to lubricate the pin. Make sure it's got plenty of lubrication in there, make sure it's nice and free, which it is. Now you can see these three holes on here. These three holes must line up with the two pins in your hole here and your hole there. Do not put it back to front or it will not work. If you do put it back to front, don't panic. You can just pull it apart. Even if you started the car, you can pull it apart, turn them around. So as I go to put it together, I'm making sure that all my holes line up and my pin goes into the center. Okay, leave that. Now let's go over to the cap for the nozzle. Now normally what we do is just use a little bit of brake cleaner, spray it into the nozzle cap, remove any carbon out of the end of it. Now you can see there's a couple of little burrs on there from us undoing it with the Stilsons. Nothing major. If you want, you can clean that up before you put it back on. And if you do clean that up with like a steel brush or wire brush, make sure that you re-clean it with brake cleaner afterwards to make sure there's no debris on here at all. Everything must be super clean. We're not going to use this one. We're just going to put this to the side for now. This one here we've already cleaned up, made nice and smooth again. So I'm just going to double check that that's nice and clean. Now make sure you put some oil on the thread. So you oil the thread, be nice and generous with it. Also make sure you put plenty of oil around the top of the nozzle. Now you just slide the cap over the top, like so. Hold onto the top of it with your fingers. Screw down while you're holding a little bit of tension down so nothing can move inside. Just do it up firm by hand. You see there's a bit of oil coming out of the top there, that's really nice. Now get your 14mm tube socket. This is set at 70 Newton meters. Now you want to get this all in one pull. So you must make sure you go right back and get it all in one pull. Heard the click there? Done. Remove it. Now you have one injector ready to go straight in. So guys, very simple, straightforward procedure. Give us a call here at Diesel Smart if you have any questions or any inquiries. We stock the plus 30s, plus 20s, plus 50 injectors, upgraded injector nozzles for most of the common rail injectors out there. So hit up the Diesel boys and give us a call.